Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Antonio, now we are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook because we had the webinar. It's already full here on Zoom where we are transmitting that. So we decided to share this live on the other platforms. So Antonio, it's a pleasure to be with you one more time.
Okay.
One
more time.
Yeah,
One more time, Ricardo.
5 days were just this past 5 days were just insane for us to
Insane.
all of this to you. So Antonio, so what I will do is let me just share quickly here what we aim to do here. So first, it's our first global survey on project management and use of AI, and we are really happy to share this with you, both Antonio and I. And our agenda today, we'll talk about the 10 key findings on that we think you will like to hear. Some of them we are, I would say, a little bit less surprised. Some of them we are truly surprised, okay, because they were not also expected in a way. And we'll talk also about the masterclass, and we'll try to do our best. We already have 44 questions here to answer your questions. So before we go a little bit deeper, what I want is I want just to explain why we are releasing it today. And I am super proud of the challenge, because this challenge came from Antonio. We were discussing about, okay, delivering and releasing the research by the end of this month, early September. And then Antonio came to me and said, Ricardo, no, we must give an example to everyone of the speed that we are talking now. So AI is not a new trend. We are talking about something that is already here for 8 months. So we need to move fast. And then we just decided to anticipate 20 days the research. It travels absolutely crazy in the past, I would say 10 days, but we are truly happy to release this today for you. And one point before we even move, this was an effort of Antonio, myself, and our teams to bring this. So this sponsor was not sponsored by anyone. So we did, I would say, it's result of how brave we were to build everything. So we want also to thank those who attended the masterclass, because that funds helped us to do a research like this. As we said also, the research we will be shared with you in the link in a few minutes is completely free. Is a Creative Commons research. And what we aim is really to do our part on supporting people to understand better. So maybe, Antonio, you want to say a couple of words, because before we dig into some of the findings here.
So yeah, Ricardo, thank you everyone here. I think the survey, that when you do research, Ricardo and I, we know that if people don't participate, then you're wasting your time. And I think one thing that we were impressed, and we're extremely thank you to many of you, is that we got almost 800 replies in a matter of weeks. Usually a research of this caliber maybe takes 6 months easily. And we've done that in less than 2 months, because like Ricardo says, things are moving much faster than we've seen before. So if we don't lead by example, if we cannot share what we find with you all quickly so that you can take action, right? One of the things that Ricardo and I say all the time, don't be afraid of AI, embrace it. Use what the findings, use the information, use the tools that we've been sharing in the masterclass. right away. So we cannot make a survey and say we'll release it next year. It is going to be useless next year. And to just secret between the 1,000 of people that are watching, Ricardo and I are already thinking about the next survey, because this is how we will become better. And this is, like Ricardo says, that it's not for us. I think we love what we do. We love to learn, but I think we will make the community of project managers, strategy implementation people better. And this is not that you cannot win this battle. You cannot shape the future of it if you're just two people. We know that we need hundreds and thousands of people, the people that join the master project. You are all ambassadors. In the world, there's maybe 2, 3, 4 million project managers. In this group, we have 1,000, 2,000 people who join this webinar. You are part of that thought leadership. You are part of that driving force. So that's how we see this community. And we're super excited to share with you just the highlights today, but as soon as you download the document, you'll see the quality that went into it, and the inputs and the tools that we provide you. So again, our goal is completely to make you better, to help to make project management better, to bring project management to the next level. Ricardo and I were convinced that project management has to drive this. It's not, we cannot be seconds or thirds. We need to be the first ones. And that's why we're putting so much effort, so many nights, so many weekends, and already thinking about the next research to release in a couple of months. So yeah, thank you for being here. And let's move on to some of the findings, Ricardo.
Sure. But before we move to the findings, I think we need to start by showing you some of the introduction information. So we started this in June 2023, and we received 772 answers from incredibly 95 countries. We did not expect that at all, okay, at all. So it was very surprising for us, the reach, because we did this without buying answers, anything. It was just through our networks. 28.4 executives and senior managers, 42% of the respondents, the answers, recognize themselves as project managers, and almost half of the answers came from organizations above 1,000 employees. So we tried to do the best we could to have a really nice spectrum of answers. And before I send to you, I want just to announce one thing, because yesterday in my newsletter I said about a spoiler today. So because we were very happy with the first masterclass, we have 69 participants, and it was incredible, and you will hear from some of them. And we are opening a second class in September 15th and 22. And I decided just to give the privilege to those attending this live. And I proposed Antonio and say, what do you think about offering a discount? But this discount will only work until midnight today, okay? Midnight today, and you use the code research 2023 to get this 20%. And this is only and only at this moment, okay? We are doing this, and it's a way for you to participate, for you to be with us. We'll hear from some of the participants, and also it's your way also to contribute for all the efforts we are doing on that front. So Antonio, now back to you, my friend. With the findings and the first finding.
Okay, so the first finding, it's not a big surprise, but from all these almost 800 participants, 75% of participants, experts, acknowledge the power of IS2NA's project execution, decision-making, and alignment with strategic goals. And I like very much the way we phrase it here, because so far the way we've heard about AI has been, it's going to disrupt, it's going to take jobs away. I remember the first big message I received around, or I found about AI, was from Gartner, maybe 3 years ago, saying 80% of the job, of the work, of the task of a project manager will disappear, creating panic, creating uncomfort. And I think one thing that we have insisted in all our webinars, and this is just coming across, is that the majority of project managers, they see the power of AI for us to do our work better. And you will see in the report that there are different areas where you can use already some of the tools. We did that in the masterclass, where you can look at the tools around planning, decision making. So I think there's already awareness in the project management community that AI, it's an enabler, it's an accelerator. It will help us in some of the things that we're not very successful, right? So we know that project success still in project management is not great, is 30%. So we need to increase that. One of our goals, Ricardo and I, or maybe the most important one, is to make sure that project success rates doubles in the next 3 years. So AI is going to be fundamental for that. So this is the first big kind of message from the finding, is the community of project management across the world, because that was consistent across the world. We see AI as the power that will help us to do some of the things that we should be doing better, especially all these administrative tasks and to do our job and focus on where it matters. So first of all, recognition of AI potential in project management. This is already accepted, which we're very pleased to see.
Antonio,
Ricardo.
Yeah, Antonio, I want to add one.
Of course.
One point is that I am really convinced on that. And what I noticed, because I'm reading a lot about this, is that I think there is pretty much a consensus in all areas. I didn't hear anyone saying, I don't believe AI will be a big game changer in any area. No one. So I would say from the political landscape to the technological landscape, and I'm happy that many project managers understand that this is a path that we cannot control. It's not. For example, another day, someone said to me, Ricardo, you and Antonio are driving AI in project management, and saying, no, not at all. We are not driving. We are just reacting to something that is far bigger than us. You know, it's something that will happen anyway, with this webinar, without this webinar. What we are trying to do is to help us to navigate, you know, because the change will come anyway. So this is just my
thank you. Absolutely. Let's go to finding number 2. This is we wanted to test, we wanted to get a feeling of is the project management community afraid of AI? Remember, we said about Gartner, 80%, and we're very pleased to see that there's no much concern. Only 29% of the respondents said that they were afraid of their jobs being taken over by AI in the next 5 years. So that's not afraid. That's not saying, okay, the community is afraid. On the contrary. So it's building back on the potential of AI to help us. We also had a question on how do you see that in 15 years? Well, we don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. Let's see in 15. But there's still it just increases to 40%. So I think we are convinced. I'm convinced. Ricardo is convinced that project management is going to be there for the next decades. You know, I talk about the project economy. The future of work is project-based, but enabler with AI. Absolutely. So I think that's an important second finding, is we're not afraid. This is great. I was really happy to see that. We're not afraid. We're ready to learn and work together with AI to do our jobs better. And keep all the admin job from outside, which I would love to. So why not? Ricardo.
No, Antonio, I agree, and this is a very positive news. One thing that our research did not catch is that people are feeling lower fear because of all these positive things Antonio and I are talking about the potential in this, or people are not feeling the fear because they are not seeing what is coming. So this is, I'm just, why I'm being so challenging a little bit. Last week, I posted on LinkedIn an article from, if I'm not wrong, The Atlantic, talking about this, that the jobs that technology thinks will be the most probable to be replaced by AI have the fear, the lowest fear of being replaced. So we need just to understand that. So what is important is that if the reason for you listening to us for the fear is because you don't believe AI will be strong enough or competent enough, then I think you will be challenged. But if you think that AI will be competent and a big partner for you, allowing you to do other things, and then I will be with you on that fear. I just want to make sure that we are talking about the right level of fear here.
Great point. So the next one, it's also very surprising. To me, this is one of the most surprising, is that we thought that AI was something really new and far, sometimes in our profession, but almost half of the participants have already experimented with some sort of AI. 41% of experts report significant improvement, enhancement in project delivery since adopting AI-based tools and techniques. So where are these? And I think this is something that we said at the beginning of the webinar, is we are seeing already people embracing this, and we share quite a few of these tools in the masterclass. And we saw the potential. Ricardo made several demos with ChatGPT, the beta part. And so I think this is great. And this is one of the areas that we are going to research much more in our next survey, is what are we seeing there? What tools and what improvements are we seeing, to be more detailed and be able to share more with all of you. So that is something that it make me like, oh wow, this is good, this is really good. Maybe we're, like you said, we're maybe 3, 4, maybe 10 million project managers in the world, but the group that are here are the leading ones, and people are already experimenting. So we'll share more about that. Of course, in our masterclass, we share the latest on new tools, but it's impressive to see that 40% of the respondents already see benefits by introducing AI in some pieces, processes of their projects. Anything to add there, Ricardo?
No. I think that we should truly expect. An improvement, and I need to be deeply honest with you. I'm using all the time. Okay, I'm using all the time several different tools, and every time I think about the results, I get stunned. You know, to test some hypothesis, even, for example, to prepare a quick report. So I think that it will help dramatically when you know how to use it and you feel safe for using. And this is something we will talk a little bit later about, this ethical privacy. And this will be for sure a challenge we will face. One thing, Antonio, before we move to the fourth one, just some logistics. We have
more than 1,000 people here. So we cannot answer specifically to people raising their hands. So I just want to apologize. And for some reason, we activate the chat, but it's not activated here on Zoom. So you can use the Q&A to do that. I will check with Zoom what happened, okay? And also thanks for the tip on increasing the volume of, I changed the mic, so I hope it's better now, okay? So Antonio, back to you on number 4.
So yeah, I think this one is around the skills. So the skills, I think this is urgent. If there's something that we need to put focus and attention and saying people, colleagues, we need to do something urgently, is the skills. And everybody agrees that there's a bunch of new skills that were not in the radar even last year, and suddenly become a big priority. So I think this is something that we need to see as a call for action. We were very pleased to see more than almost 70 students in the master class that we had, and we were planning to have maybe 30, 40. So I think the learning piece is so important. Even I'm learning every day, Ricardo, you too, for sure. And so, and there's not just us in the master class, but there's other ways to learn, and there's a lot of free stuff. So this is something that you will see in the survey. When you download the survey, you will see that we've put links and connections and hyperlinks to some of the resources that you can access for free. So we've done not just the research on the questionnaire, we've done research on the tools so that you can just today, even if you want, start learning more. So that's something that we care, and we have put hours just to develop so that you could have something that is extremely, extremely useful. So please, call for action from this webinar is start learning, start playing, start using, start testing, learn something about analytics. We have the list there, of course, of the things that we need to learn. So you will see that in the survey, but this is obviously something that it's important. And the other thing that comes across from this research is that the things that we will learn today might be different in 6 months. So we are not kind of building skills that are lasting forever. The things are moving so fast that it's a question of learning every day. It's part of our habits. Maybe in the past, we didn't have these kind of habits of continuous learning, but now, obviously, with the speed of change, for me, it's something that I try to do myself. I'm not extremely successful yet, but every day, every week, learn something new, read some of the articles that we publish or follow some blogs, because this is really crucial. If we want to succeed, if you want to succeed in this space, keep learning.
Yeah, Antonio, I want to add one point. We have Jack Wu here asking about which kind of AI tool we use. So, Jack, you can watch other webinars Antonio and I did. We shared several of them from tools to help you on the PDF side. I also did last week a webinar where I spoke about the ChatGPT code interpreter. So there are dozens of tools, okay? And also, I want also to take the opportunity, because I saw many questions again on the PMOto. So just for you to know, yesterday, we had to close our waiting list because we are completely out of capacity, okay? So we received thousands of requests, and we are very happy, but we were not expecting this amount of people willing to use and test. And we are already rolling out slowly to them. So we still don't know how it will be available for this amount of people, but it's now on the test. So we are doing our best. Yesterday, we reached out 8,000 different files, and we are working with Microsoft. So it's a challenge, but we are rolling out. I know people are with expectations of using it, but just be mindful, it's a beta. It's not yet a commercial product, okay? People cannot buy it yet, okay? So we are doing tests to make sure it will work, okay? So I just want, because I saw many questions about this on the chat, okay? Antonio, I don't know if you want to get this. Maurice Diop asking about the profile of the people we interview, field of expertise, positions, regions, countries. So do you want to take this question, or do you want me to answer it?
No, we have, of course, we have that in the survey. So you'll find the details. Of course, Ricardo already mentioned a big part, around 40% are project managers, but we have also about 15% executives and senior managers, also another 15. So it's a good balance. We have the biggest country contribution is from the US, but if you look at the continents, we have Europe as the also quite contributing into the survey. What kind of other things we can talk about? The sectors. Of course, we have public sector is an important one. We have IT, professional services is the biggest one with more than 20%. So you'll find all the demographics in the survey, so you can see that. And one thing
just for you to have an idea, the survey has 36 pages. Okay, so it's not a one-page survey.
And one idea we had, Ricardo and I, but yeah, you know, we are so busy with all these things, but to build some sort of database where you could go and a bit like a Power BI or Tableau or something that you all could go and select and get the cutting that you want for your industry, for your country. But that's for us, it's not yet ready, but it's something that we've been thinking. And just quickly,
you know one thing? Every time I listen Antonio saying this, I lose a night of sleep, you know, because it's every time we talk, there comes one new idea, and it just drives us crazy all the time. But it's a fantastic partnership, Antonio. It's I'm just joking because it's just crazy. You know, it's just every time we talk, oh, what about a Power BI? What about a video? What about an anime? And then, you know, it's up to 3 a.m. every day trying to get this done. Yesterday, I was reviewing that something like 2 a.m. Past night, sending him the notes. So, but it's great. Antonio,
great.
Number 5, let me go back to you.
Yeah, when we get to this, one point on the PMO Auto that Ricardo didn't mention, but we have a lot of people interested and a lot of expectations, and we're very pleased for that. But we also have big companies. We cannot share names, but the companies, they also want to try that. They really are looking into a more professional, better tooling and more AI into their project portfolio. And we're talking companies with thousands of projects. So we're super excited, but we're still far from that. So, but the interest is not just from the individuals, but from the businesses, which is something that makes us super exciting.
Absolutely.
And one thing that Ricardo and myself are very passionate, and something that we wanted to make clear in the surveys, AI is the main one, is the main topic we're research. But let's not forget other important topics in our space, other important topics in the world. So that's why we look into sustainability and how can AI leverage and help us to do better sustainability transformation. And I think this is one of the, for me, makes me really happy when more than almost 800 professionals and many of them very senior say, yes, we can, and we should not forget sustainability when we introduce AI in our projects. Don't trade off our planet with AI, right? Keep it in mind, and not just keep it, but leverage and push it forward. So there's a couple of findings and charts on sustainability, which is something that we're very, very pleased. We're very passionate. Both Ricardo and I have worked in sustainability. So yeah, this is something that makes our survey, I think, larger and broader than the traditional AI surveys.
Yeah, and this number, Antonio, is incredible. Honestly speaking, I was not expecting. 82% is probably one of the highest numbers, I would say, in many of our questions. You know, we didn't see this unanimity in other aspects, but in sustainability, at least we see that, and we truly believe that not only on the weather forecast, okay? Not only on this, I would say this climate position, but also on social, economic responsibility, because I think that AI must be implemented in a sustainable way, thinking on humanity, because, you know, if you say, okay, we don't need humans anymore, though, so, okay, and what we will do? So I'm just thinking in a broader sense on that, because there is a lot of implications on this.
Okay, so we're on the halfway, and we go ahead, Rick.
No, it's back for you. We want just to. I will bring Paolo on stage. Paolo, if you are hearing us, I just promoted you to panelist, so you will be able to join us. Okay, you are on mute. And so, Antonio, back to you.
Yeah, Paolo, thank you so much. So, Paolo, I met Paolo. We've been for years, but personally, I had the pleasure to meet Paolo on a keynote I delivered for their company in Leuven, in Belgium, and Paolo came to me, and it's amazing how much he knows and has been exploring the concepts of project management and AI, and so and Paolo was a member of our first masterclass. So very thankful to give a bit of your feedback on the masterclass, share that with the community. Thank you, Paolo.
Thank you, and can you hear me first of all?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm very happy to share with you, first of all, what was the motivation to attend this masterclass, because I was starting looking into AI with a lot of interest. I didn't have any experience, but honestly, there is a jungle. Everyone is talking about AI. I think that not everyone has the right credentials to discuss about AI. So the first, what I knew Ricardo and I knew Antonio, and I mean, not because they're here, but I consider them two of the major pioneers of modern project management. They work a lot. They try to put new ideas. So that's the first motivation. So people that is talking about AI in the project management, which is an area of interest for me. And that's why I've decided. The experience of this masterclass was very positive because, first of all, it provided a lot of, let's say, anchor points. The masterclass, and I think that this was fundamentally the goal, to me, had the effect to trigger the interest in learning more and providing some, as I say, anchor point where I had to build more my knowledge. And as a matter of fact, as a result, output of that masterclass for me is that I start studying more, and I know where I've been. And I share also some of the. I agree with most of the results. And one thing that I'm already discussing internally is that we should not, and I took this from the book of Esposito, because actually the section with Esposito was very interesting. We should not talk about AI, artificial intelligence, but IA, like intelligent assistance, which is give less fear and is helping also more to explain what really are the application and implication of the artificial intelligence. So I guess that from what is my experience, the goal you had for the masterclass was fully fulfilled, because if the goal was to call for action, and actually that masterclass gave me a lot of good anchor points to start working, and we are moving. I'm moving more towards expanding what are the application and implications of generative AI in our domain.
Thank you, Paulo, and thank you. You're super busy. You're back from a break. Yeah. Making the time, it's incredible. Yeah.
And I want just to make, Paulo, you know me, I'm absolutely paranoid about conflict of interest. So Why Paolo is here, it's because after the class, we have an alumni group. So Antonio posted inviting, and then Paolo was on leave, and then he left and say, okay, I would join. So he's not getting a discount, anything. He just offered to generously speak about his impression here. Okay, so there is no business deal here. I would just want to absolutely make sure that
I don't get anything. I just genuine feedback. Yes.
It's a community.
Sometimes it's important to reinforce that, because otherwise people think different. Yeah. Paolo, thank you very much. One thing that I want just to also reinforce, Paolo said about Mark Esposito. Mark Esposito, it's because in every day of the masterclass, we receive one or two very special guests. And the first one was Mark Esposito. We would love to disclose who will be on the second one. Antonio and I, we know, but we cannot disclose it yet, okay? I know people will be really surprised and very happy, okay? But we cannot disclose it yet, okay? It's just, we cannot, okay? But Paolo, thank you very much for your time, okay? And your commitment. So let me go back to the presentation here, okay? Thank you, Paolo.
Thank you, Paolo. Super nice.
Thank you.
Antonio, now it's my turn. Okay, now it's my turn. So let's go to finding number 6. Finding number 6, diversity and inclusion. Okay, and this is a big topic. Okay, 25.5% of the experts answering, they see AI as an instrumental for eliminating bias and fostering diversity. This number is a good number, but is not 100%. So there is still a lot of concerns on that. And one of my dear colleagues from the UN, she sent me on LinkedIn today, just something like 1 hour before this presentation, one BuzzFeed news about gender, and talking about the Barbie movie and this and how bias can play a bigger role. And what is important is that AI is a tool. AI does not know what it's doing. AI does not know when you use Midjourney to generate an image of a successful businessman, there is a good possibility it will show a white male wearing a suit. Why? It's not because AI is biased. AI is just reinforcing what is in the database. And this will be a big thing. How we will create ways of promoting diversity and inclusion. Antonio, one of the points on our research that we need to pay attention is about recruitment and this, and we discussed this in the masterclass and in many of our discussions about bias in recruiting that are not, I would say, related to the expertise of the people, but for example, AI analyzing movements, analyzing your face movements, the color of your hair, the color of your skin, the way you dress to select if you are a good fit or not. And this is still an absolutely big thing for us. It's absolutely a big thing that we need to be aware of that. So AI will be an instrumental in eliminating. I would wonder, and when we do this again, Antonio, I would wonder to see this not 25, but 75, that we believe that this, but this depends much more on how we feed information, because if we feed information full of bias and prejudice, the results will be that way. It's just impossible. AI does not know. ChatGPT, PMOTO, it does not know what is typing to you. It has no clue about the true meaning of that. Okay, it has no idea. It's just a parameter of gathering a lot of information and organizing it for you. But the way you put on the data, so there is hundreds of years of I would say, some preconceived ideas that will retrofeed that. Antonio, do you have any comment on this finding number 6?
Yeah, I think I just highlighting the importance of this topic, and around 20% of the responses said that we will have perpetuity on bias and hinder diversity efforts. So this is worrying. This is exactly what you're saying, Ricardo. We need to pay more attention. Sustainability, diversity. These are things that we should not lose focus, and always remember that these are crucial when we look at data and how can we improve that. No, I leave you, Ricardo. I see we don't have much time left and we have a lot to share. So please.
Okay, good. So number 7, it's ethics, okay? Ethical implication. So look, this is very, very true. 74%. We received a lot of questions here on the chat here, concerns about ethical implications in AI decision-making. 75% of experts, they are concerned about ethical challenges, and ethical not only in bias, but there is a massive amount of concerns today about, for example, is using data to train algorithms like ChatGPT, like BARD, or any large language model, is a copyright infringement to use these documents to learn and understand. Why I'm saying this? Because let me just tell you one thing. Do you know that there is a big dispute in several tribunals today because some of the AI companies are saying, okay, what about a kid that buys a book, read a book, and learn from the book? Is it a copyright infringement? Because you learn from the book. You are not copying the book. You are learning. Or when I am an art student, I go to the Louvre Museum in Paris and I start drawing Mona Lisa and the others to learn how to draw. And then am I doing an infringement on copyright? One thing is to copy exactly Mona Lisa, but to be inspired in Mona Lisa, is it an infringement or not? Look, I'm not a lawyer at all to say what is right and what is wrong. I'm saying that this is big. This is big. This can change completely the concept of copyright and what is copyright infringement. For example, if I inspire in the music to create my own music, but there is a lot of implications on that. And this we still do not know. We still do not know, but people are very concerned. That goes from bias, from copyright, from, for example, secrets. How do you keep secrets in this universe where everything will be collected from you? So this is one of the findings we saw. Number 8, AI and innovation. 65% viewed AI as a key factor on stimulating innovation. And of course, because AI opens a new road, a completely new road of opportunities, a road that you may think in the future that you do not need a method anymore. You do not need to think about Scrum or using PMBOK guide. Have you thought about that? You may not need about thinking about, am I using Agile or not? Because in an AI world, it's just interactions. You will review what reporting is. So it can open an absolutely new road of innovation. I never thought, I said this 20 times because I love cooking, that I would have a tool like this ChatGPT that I love, that you tell it where you have in the pantry, in your pantry. Yeah, I have a can of beans and this, and it will suggest you a recipe with that. I never thought about it. I am still the guy from the recipe book. So look, it's different. So this opens a whole new road for us to think about innovation, and 65% on that. And this, I would expect that in the future, it will be more, because if you want really to implement innovation, AI cannot be out. AI cannot be out at all, okay? Number 9.
Ricardo, on that one,
Please, go ahead.
I think project management, and maybe you felt that me on my career say, oh, you're not innovative people. You execute, you do. And I think this is opening the opportunity for all of us to actually, yeah, we can bring new ideas. We can create amazing stuff using AI and other technologies and our knowledge and brainstorm. So for me, was opening. I always say that in project management, we have a very narrow view. We get the idea already for somebody and then we execute. Now we are going to be starting playing a role in that early phases of a project. And I love that. I see, wow, this is for me really, really great. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we are opening the opportunity. For example, there is an ocean of opportunities. You know, we always think we are on a fishbowl. When we get into help this as a catalyst for the innovation, we are really increasing. I'm talking to my colleagues, project manager. We are increasing our opportunities in a dramatic way. So number 9, the challenges. Hold on, okay. The challenges and barriers. So what we see, okay, we recognize, and we saw on the report, a lot of benefits, but a lot of people saw a lot of challenges to make this change happen. So on managed frameworks, strategic planning, careful implementation, and when you started, Antonio, this raised me a big attention here when you said, you know, we are on this race, and Paolo confirmed that this race, everybody running, and when you do that, sometimes you are more prone to make mistakes, and this implementing AI, using AI has so many implications that it's not just like that. Okay, tomorrow I will use ChatGPT and it's done. My problems will be gone. This does not exist. We love to hear that, but reality is different. So we need to be cautious on how do we implement that. And we need to go fast, but at the same time with a very mindful mindset on that, because there is a lot of people doing a lot of mistakes on this journey, and we need to be mindful. And most of the time, we need to remember, as a project managers, we are responsible for that. You know, sometimes I work, you know, I need to share with you, I work with a lot of much younger people, and sometimes I need to say that, you know, we must have an adult in the room. Otherwise, people just go crazy and they don't think about these unintended consequences. And it's very important that we always keep this in mind, okay? And last but not least, investment in AI exploration. So project management, they exhibited not a unified level of enthusiasm and exploring project management, okay? So have been very likely to invest, and 29 somewhat likely. And for us, this, I need to share my perception. I feel a little bit struggled when I see this, because there is no way you can learn and implement AI without investment. And investment is not just money, okay? It's not just money. Investment is time, investment is commitment. Just to let you know one simple case, I know we are 10 minutes to go, but yesterday at something like 1:40 a.m., I was waiting for the final details that would change it on the report, I would say, in terms of layout. And meanwhile, I was finishing my course for Microsoft and LinkedIn on AI, trying to study the different machine learning methods. So, you know, I am 51 years old. I have a good career, everything, but I'm investing. I'm investing my time, because otherwise you will feel and fall behind easily. You will become irrelevant. This was yesterday, 1 a.m. And I hope I will finish this course today and do my exam. And why? Because this is the investment. It's your biggest asset. And when I see companies saying, we want to implement AI, but do you want to invest? No, we don't want to invest. So where do you want? Do you believe in magic? Do you think that, okay, let's just start using ChatGPT and it's over? We'll be all proficient in... Look, ChatGPT can be very messy if you do not know what is behind, okay? So now, I think it's the slide that everyone expected most, right? Chan, Antonio. And this is the link for the report. So the report is already live, okay? And you can download this. What you see on your left side is the cover of the report. I have it printed here. My copy. It has everything. Antonio, maybe you want to explain the structure for everyone to read and download it.
Yeah, so you can see on the page, maybe here very quickly. So we have the results of the responses from the 772. We try to summarize what we see. Then we also want to say, okay, this is just a piece. How does it look in the future, right? So how can we project ourselves? So making a bit of a story and thinking, a bit creatively about this topic in the future. We might be right, we might be wrong, but at least I think we need to open our eyes. And then the tools. What advice do we give from our side for you? These are the pages. There's PMauto, there's research, there's education. It's of course not extensive, but at least the things that we consider important. So in one report, you have findings, you have insights, you have things that you can do next. You open your mind. So this is something that Ricardo and I spent hours, days, nights, just to try to give you something more than just a report with data and some conclusions.
And Antonio, it's important. This is a Creative Commons initiative. Okay, it means you can copy, you can utilize, you can share. Okay, what we want is to increase people's awareness. It's truly our contribution to what we can do. So you can take this, you can download, you can share with your colleagues, with whoever you want. Our plan, Antonio already said, is to have the data available for you to analyze it. So just wait a little bit more because we still need to build that. And also we'll prepare some social cards. So by next week, I will start sharing a lot of some very specific insights on this on social media. So if you the best benefit you can do is to help to promote. This is your voice. If you participate, it's your voice. And maybe you will disagree, but at least you can see, okay, people think the same, people think differently on that. So you can do this. And this is truly our contribution. When Antonio said about PMauto and this, PMauto is just one of them. This is not to promote PMauto, okay? This is not at all, okay? This is not at all. We are mentioning probably all possible tools on our advice for you on it, okay? And then it's really, some of the questions I liked a lot, the answers. Some of the questions, I was not very sure if this is what I would expect. Okay, so this you can download starting now. We put it live exactly at the time we started, so you can use the link. We will publish immediately now on the social media channels and also pmairevolution.com. On the top, you can do that. Okay. Now one more thing. Just again to all of you, we will do our second edition of the masterclass. We have already a good cohort participate and register, and we decided for those attending, and this is just up to midnight Pacific time of today with the code Research 2023 to offer you this discount. So now I will just to wrap up. I will Antonio, if you allow me, I will bring Yasmina on stage. Okay, we would bring a Sylvie, but she, it's live. Her sound is not working. So I'm bringing Yasmina. I'm bringing you now to the stage. So for you, hello.
I am here. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm well, but I'm sorry. Of course, the camera doesn't work. Of course, but I can still speak. I'm sorry. I will put the camera here.
Okay, no worries. No worries. It's just
speak.
because you offered. Yeah,
yes,
please.
Exactly. So what? Okay, I work in a big corporation, in fact, and I take part in the course because it was done by the best, as Paolo said, Antonio and Ricardo. And as you can see here, you have 10 hours of live, like with so much energy for 10 hours during the master classes. So there are theory, there are a lot of breakout rooms where you can network. It was also one of my goals. And you have, as Ricardo said, we had 3 wonderful guest speakers when we could learn a lot. So I really encourage you because, as I told you, I work in a corporate. We do not really use AI a lot at the moment for different reasons. But I learned a lot, and it's the beginning of the journey, and you can learn a lot when you are in a community. Also, I think it's very important because you can exchange, and after you have also a private LinkedIn group you can be part of. So I think that's all, Ricardo and Antonio. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, this LinkedIn group is becoming very active. It's hard to keep up the pace. People are, yeah. So we did that, but Yasmin, thank you very much for being so kind with us on participating. Okay, thank you, Antonio. I think we still have 3 minutes. Maybe we can maybe take some quick questions here on the list. If you
while you pick one, Ricardo, we are planning a session in September. You will get that in the email where it's just going to be Q&A. We're going to talk about this, so no slides. It's just going to be, so we wanted to share today the main findings of the survey, but then dedicate a Q&A session. This is going to happen in September on this, I think it's on the 6th of September, and we'll let you know. Okay, go ahead, Ricardo.
Amaresh said one thing about the most basic need for PMs is tools to manage projects efficiently. And then he said, PMauto is the only tool and we are looking forward. So Amaresh, thank you very much. Very kind of you, but I need to disagree with you. PMauto is not the only tool. PMauto is a tool we are building that is more tailored to that, but there are many tools. Numbers.io. It's an Excel add-in where you don't need to type formulas anymore, that you just use natural language, add the total of this column to that and divide it by 3. And these are tools. They do not need to be, I would say, direct related and called project management tools. So all these AI tools, an AI tool that could extract information from a PDF, is a tool that could help you to manage your project, a tool that will help you to draw a better report, a tool that will add you, for example, recording meetings. People on the masterclass got really crazy when I was showing Otter and Crispy and tools that you can just transcribe everything automatically. These are not tools that were created to project management. They are a massive help for us managing projects. So we just need to open our minds on that. Antonio, do you want to take anyone?
Yeah, I'll take Dave. Nice to see you, Dave Garrett. What do you think the lasting skills might be? Understanding that many of them might not be. So I like that questions because it's, I think, a big discussion is what do we need to keep, what do we need to change. And I think project managers will be very high in demand, especially if we add all the value that AI can bring, because we are already in the spotlight with the whole project economy and companies having thousands of projects. But I think what really will make a difference, more than skills, maybe it's the mindset of being able to lead teams, to fight for a bigger cause and delivering projects, and to the mindset to keep learning, like Ricardo was saying. So I think the mindset that I don't see very often yet in project managers, including me, it's feeling empowered to challenge, to drive projects, regardless who you're talking to. And that it's for me the things that's going to be stable. This is something that we need to increase, and it's not going to change. So I hope that answered partially what you were asking, Dave. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, and look, I would suggest, Dave know how much I like him. We know him, we both know him for many years. He's a great person for you to follow on LinkedIn. He posts amazing content on AI and generative, and I think he's as passionate as us for this topic. And David also asked a question about energy and AI, because of course these machines, their consumption of energy is very high. What I can tell you is that, Dave, is that there is a massive development on this from semiconductor and ship industry to produce low energy ships. So what is happening is that there is you saw AMD going public now, and Amazon wants to make a very big bet on AMD to produce. So there is a massive run to reduce the energy expenditures of these ships and these engines. And at the same time, there is a massive search for more efficient ways of using energy. So I think that we will reach a balance on that. And I think this will not be a super big issue in the future. I think if we compare with traditional industry, the amount of energy is still not relevant enough. If we compare with mining, with coal industry, with oil industry, then there is no comparison at all, okay? And another, Christina, let me just very quick, I expect it will change the way PMI certificate PMPs. Christina, Antonio, and I, we were both past chairmen of PMI, but we are not PMI. So we are not talking on behalf of PMI, but I can assure you that if PMI is understanding the same way we understand, that's for sure it will happen, okay? We need just to see when this kind of thing will happen. Antonio, back to you for our call.
Ricardo, I need to take a call, so I'll join in 5 minutes. Just continue. Okay. I know we usually go over the hour, so I'll be here.
No, good. My friend, so I think it's better for us to close now. So thank you very much for this. Enjoy the survey. Antonio, thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you to all of you.
And see you all, okay? Thank you very much for your participation. See you next time.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.